Emmanuel Brevard with you. Now, when you zoom out and talk Yankee catchers, number 8, Yogi Berra, carries a whole lot of significance. But when you zoom in and talk this year's team, 8 is the number of consecutive games Austin Wells has played in. Since August has begun, Austin Wells played in every game behind the plate for the Yanks, and a big reason why, he's found his groove offensively. Aaron Boone taking stock in his catcher right now.
There's a good offensive player in there, and obviously it's been a challenging season for him offensively, but going back to when he came off the IL, I felt like he was better. He didn't get results right away, and was still kind of working through it, but I feel like there's been steady improvement since that point. So whatever that was, a little over a month ago, and then now here these last 2 weeks, I feel like becoming a little more consistent, and we need it. We need that from him, and that's certainly what we feel he's capable of.
It is way more in line with who the Yankees believe Austin Wells is. Last 15 games, 306 hitter, 960 OPS. He's right back in that Yankee lineup, batting 9th today. Ryan Weathers takes him out, pitching to Austin Wells when we return. Weathers facing the same team he made his Yankee debut against. We'll have lineups, we'll have first pitch, we'll have baseball, and it's next on Yes.
It is time. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Farmers Insurance. Get a quote at farmers.com. Like Tunnel to Towers, donate $11 a month and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. And by Nissan. Hop into a Nissan Rogue and hit the road to adventure. Shop NissanUSA.com. Yankees go through all the personalized handshake, and now they take the field here at Yankee Stadium to complete this homestand with a 3-game set against Seattle. Here's the Mariners starting lineup. Taylor Ward will lead off, followed by Randy Arozarena, and then J-Rod bats third. Then it's Dominic Canzone, Cole Young, Cal Raleigh. Bottom third, Brendan Donovan, Weston Wilson, and Colt Emerson.
Take a look at the numbers for Ryan Weathers. I love the strikeouts per innings pitched and the low walk count. And you see the 17 home runs. He's only given up 1 in his last 8 starts. Been much better in that department. Let's check out the Nissan pitcher scouting report. Straight, yes, he has won 17 and 2/3 scoreless innings pitched. Have to go back to 3 starts ago. Stronger as he goes. In the first inning, he has an ERA of 5.73. The second, 4.15. But 3 through 6, like so many other great starters, 2.79. And I think he's really finding out who he is. He's finding himself. His last 7 starts, his four-seam usage has went way down from 28% to 10%, and he's increased his sweeper, his slider, and his changeup, and it's been really effective.
Well, let's check out the defense behind him, which is brought to you by your Tri-State Genesis retailers. Yankees have made 1 error in the last 10 games. That was a throwing error by Chisholm yesterday, or on Sunday. It's Ramos, Grisham, and Jones left to right in the outfield. Infield, McMahon, Lombard Jr., Chisholm Jr., and Garcia Jr. That's the junior portion of the infield. Wells behind the plate. Weathers is on the mound. So we walk up to the plate with Turner Ward. Stu Shorewater is the home plate umpire. Junior Valentine at first, Rob Drake at second, and Jordan Baker is over at third. Ward's ready. Weathers is ready. And let's do it here in the Bronx. Swing and a foul ball, and we're underway.
Not surprising, always has been aggressive. The first pitch of the first plate appearance. We always got that as a stat, Michael, when I give a breakdown of like opposing hitters.
Right.
Sometimes they're aggressive first pitch, but sometimes it's just the first pitch, the first plate appearance, because you're guaranteed almost a fastball.
1-1. Strange year for the Mariners, who took the Blue Jays to Game 7 of the ALCS last year. But this year they come in at 56 and 63. They just got swept by Tampa Bay, and they're looking up in the American League West. 4.5 behind Houston, and they're 4 out of the wild card. They're 8th in the wild card standings. They have higher aspirations than that. Many people picked them to go to the World Series this year. They're one of the teams that has never been to the World Series, but the offense has been completely absent. There's no other way to put it. They're last in runs per game at 3.88. 2-2. Ground ball, Lombard. One away. Stu Shorewater, home plate ump. The umpire scouting report brought to you by your local Kia dealers. He's considered pitcher friendly, almost pinned that way. 96 pitches have been challenged, 62 overturned. Calls more outside strikes, more low strikes on righty batters. 13 big league season. There's the rest of the crew.
Well, I'm sure that's exactly what the hitters on both these teams want to see. Is they've struggled to score runs, which you talked about, Michael. A pitcher friendly umpire.
Rosarena takes a strike.
You know, he has been the one consistent player in their lineup. He has had a really, really good year. And amongst the league leaders in the American League in runs and on-base percentage, and just a consistent player.
It's strange because they have really good pitching. Their defense is not that great, and their offense is not that great, and that's why they're struggling the way they are.
He sounds kind of shocked that their defense is not that great.
Well, with good pitching, you usually want good defense behind it.
Yeah, and it's not so much in the sense of they make a lot of errors. It's just they don't get to a lot of balls when it comes to outs above average. And you see where they, Randy Rosarena, his resume, it's pretty good.
Big wild cut, foul ball.
You talked about the lack of offense that they've had. I went back to June 1st, and if you take Naylor, who's not in the lineup, he's got a bad wrist. Rodriguez and Cal Raleigh, they have 18 home runs since June 1st. Ben Rice has 15.
Amazing.
Yeah.
The 1-2 chases a pitch upstairs, or Rosarena down on strikes.
Yeah, you see this little split change that he kind of throws there, and as a hitter, you're not expecting it up in the zone, and then your eyes light up when you see it. Like, that's a ball I can crush, and he's just underneath it.
So here's J-Rod. Been hot lately. Last 9 games hitting .344. I mean, he's one of the great players in this game, but when you break him down, he starts every season slowly and then has to really turn it on in the second half to have representative numbers. But with his skill set, wow.
Well, he's still only 25 years old, so I still think that he is probably going to continue to improve and get a lot better, and you would hope that he could put 6 good months together one year.
He does that to win an MVP. He's that good.
Yes. Because he's a complete player, and he's not playing as good a defense this year. I mean, you look at the last 4 years, he's like plus 40 and outs above average. This year he's -2. So I'm not really sure what's going on there as well.
The 0-2, grounded foul. He's a 3-time All-Star. As Joe mentioned, 5th big league season, just 25 years old. Weathers deals way upstairs. Mariners have lost 4 straight and 13 of 18. They just finished a homestand where they were 3-6. They took 2 out of 3 from Minnesota. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Tigers, swept by Tampa Bay.
And have only scored 4 runs in their last 4 games. So, I mean, it's been an offense that has really struggled. And you talked about their last in baseball with a 3.88 runs per game. They're just not hitting home runs, and they're not getting on base.
The 2-2.
That pitch is just too high. He's thrown him 2 of those up there in the zone, and it's never going to be a strike, and that's why Julio, or looked like a strike, and that's why he's able to lay off it.
3-2, and he works a walk. Here's Dominic Canzone. Cleanup hitter. The numbers are good, but of late he's struggling. 7 for 41, that's 171. J-Rod had a lead. Now he has 15 stolen bases. The ball was delivered to the plate, and he was scrambling back to first.
Yeah, I think he tried to time him, and then when he didn't go home, he kind of panicked and said, I better get back to first base. They start hopping around over there. You got to pay attention to him. And I really believe, Michael, if he doesn't go on first move or go a little bit early, he will not steal this base because Weathers is pretty quick to home. So that's why he's trying to time him up so he can go on first move.
Up the middle, off the bag, barehanded by Lombard, and he turns it into an out. What quick hands and reflexes by Lombard to make that play.
That's an incredible play. Most guys aren't going to make this play. Nice big hands, gets it. Strong throw to first. He can play some defense.
Here's the pitch.
Not like an eye-opening play, but if you really break it down, that's a pretty special play.
Yeah, that's quick reflexes. And the thing is, no panic.
Yeah. Here's the Yankee batting order. We'll walk up with Grisham. He starts, then Ben Rice and Elliot Ramos. Garcia, Chisholm, and Lombard. We call that the junior portion of the lineup, middle third. And then Spencer Jones, Ryan McMahon, and Austin Wells.
You see the numbers on Brian Wu. He's got really good stuff. He's got a fastball who get up to 98. You see the strikeouts. He does not walk people. But let's check out the Nissan pitcher scouting report on him. It's been a puzzling year. He has last year he had a 2.94 ERA. It's 4.31 this year. He was one of the better pitchers in the game last year. Drastic difference. Home 7-0, 1.96. On the road 1-8, a 6.71. However, in 3 starts at Yankee Stadium, and he has always been much better at home than on the road. He has a .96 ERA.
Yeah, he was 5th in Cy Young voting last year, so a big drop. But still has great stuff. The 0-1.
And for him, the struggles have come when runners have gotten on. He's been really good with nobody on. Hitters are hitting 201, but runners on, 292. And it gets worse with runners in scoring position. So I watched yesterday's game. I got excited when I saw from Grisham. He hit 4 balls on the screws. They were all basically to the right center gap. I know one was a hard ground out to second, right? But to me, that's his bat angle. That's who he is. Hit a home run. And he looked like the Trent Grisham that we saw last year. And I don't think we can forget, he was really hot before he went on the IL.
Yep.
Maybe he's getting hot again.
And he always does damage in late inning, high leverage situations, as he did on Sunday with that home run to tie the game in the 8th inning. 1-2.
I mean, he had the homer to right center. He had the double to right center. I mean, he swung the bat really well yesterday. And he doesn't chase. I guess it was Sunday. I forgot. I don't count off days.
I love that about you. 2-2.
That's because I get so many of them. I don't work every day like you.
I do count off days.
Yeah, I know you appreciate them.
In the center field, Rodriguez makes the play. Let's check out the Seattle defense, brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. We told you it's not a great Mariner defense, and we'll zero in on the young second baseman Cole Young. He's our Car Shield defensive player profile. 13 defensive runs saved this season. That leads all American League second basemen. So he's one of the strong points on the defensive side for Seattle. There's Ben Rice. He was 2 for 13 in the series against Atlanta.
I tell you what, though, it's a little bit confusing for me because we don't see Seattle every day. They have a Cole and a Colts.
Yep.
The Colts at shortstop. I will get that mixed up in this series.
So, quick story about Joe not counting off days. So we're sitting in here, and I'm telling some people that I'm taking my family to the game tomorrow.
And
Joe
I gave you a strange look.
Right. Joe said, what? How are you taking your family to the game? You're doing the game. I said, no. The game's on ESPN. Joe was going to come in tomorrow. He did not know the game was on ESPN.
I didn't. And I would have started my card in the morning and then been really chapped. I mean, I got pictures on my phone about the pitcher that's pitching tomorrow, about how his fastball has increased each month by like 1 mile an hour. And that would have been a waste.
You know, you could sell it to the ESPN guys. But they have an exclusive broadcast tomorrow. We're back on Thursday afternoon.
I didn't get the memo.
It would have been funny if you didn't hear that conversation and you just showed up. 1-2. 2-2 on Rice.
Now, could that happen to anyone else? Paul? Could that happen to Paul?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Paul didn't realize it was on ESPN either. Well, Paul has his great eraser.
Yeah, Neville.
Yeah, she'd make sure he knew.
Yeah. She obviously probably told him, but he forgot. Too worried about that little chip that he missed the other day.
Time called. Just underway here at the stadium. It's a Tuesday evening in the Bronx. How back?
It is mind-boggling to me that a guy with this kind of stuff can have such opposite home and road splits. Now, he's a fly ball pitcher, and that works great in Seattle. But not every fly ball is a home run.
Yeah.
And the difference is unbelievable. He just really struggles on the road. A 6.71 in 12 starts.
And there's a walk to Rice. Now, I was talking to some of the Seattle broadcasters, and there's really no rhyme or reason, but they say the one thing that you notice is if you get to him on the road early, he starts to think, here we go again, and it could unravel.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, there's 98 mile an hour. I mean, you see the stuff that he's got. He's got a good, his sweeper and slider have been somewhat inconsistent, and sometimes I think when people have so many different breaking balls, they can start to cross over.
Here's Ramos. Ramos, since becoming a Yankee in 5 games, 1 hit in 17 at-bats.
However, he has been on 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
Walked twice and hit twice. I think he probably enjoys the hit twice.
Now he's going to be tested because if you look at the next couple of weeks for the Yankees, and if all the teams they play stay in rotation, they're not going to face a lefty starter. It's going to be righty starters right through.
Yeah, and he's been better against lefties, and that's one of the reasons they went and got him. And you see the absence of Judge and Stanton. These guys are forced to move up in the lineup, places they normally wouldn't hit against a right-hander.
It'll benefit the guy on deck, Luis Garcia Jr.
Yes. And he does a lot of damage against right-handers.
Strike 3, punch them out. Let's take a look at what Wu actually throws. StatCast 3D by Google Cloud.
Well, you see the 2 different fastballs. Everybody has those now. Baseball got away from the sinker. Now it's back. And you see the curveball he doesn't use much. But that slider and sweeper are really 2 big pitches for him. And a lot of times that determines his night. But you see this 2-seamer come back. That's a perfect pitch.
Garcia takes outside. So Garcia in those 5 games, 4 for 19, but he has 2 RBIs. 1 for 8 in the weekend against Atlanta.
And that's a staff that he knows. But it's, still doesn't make it easier, but he has some familiarity. Big thing for a lot of these Yankee hitters tonight will be to lay off that four-seamer up in the zone.
1-1. Jazz on deck. Two. Well, we said his average fastball was like 95.8. Well, he's been throwing 98s in the first inning.
It'll come down a little bit when he gets to those middle innings. He'll lose a little bit of that zip, but he's always strong early in the games.
2-2. Drilled down the right field line. It's a base hit. It's going to go to the wall. Rice is chugging to third. Ward gets the ball in, and it's cut off by the first baseman Wilson. It's a double for Garcia, and the Yankees have runners on second and third with 2 outs.
He's always been a really good fastball hitter and a really good breaking ball hitter. I can remember when he first came up, you're going to see him get on the side of this breaking ball. It doesn't have a lot of movement, doesn't have a lot of depth, and it's just sitting there saying, hit me, hit me. You see the spin on it, and he picked it up, and he's a guy that loves the pull of the baseball. So I think this Yankee Stadium is going to be great for him.
So Rice at third, Garcia at second. There's one thing the Yankees have struggled with: runners in scoring position. Here's Jazz Chisholm, second and third, 2 outs.
Yeah, they're 26th in baseball when it comes to a .232 average. And they're not getting as many opportunities they're used to because they're not walking as much. That has fallen off as well.
So in the last 10 games, Joe, where they've scored just 26 runs, although they're still 5-5, 6 for 68 with runners in scoring position. That's 088.
Okay, well, maybe they can reverse this, because on the road, Mr. Wu, with runners in scoring position, a .467 average with an .800 slug. That's not getting it done.
So something's got to give.
Something. In 60 at bats.
Bottom of the first inning. Leo 2. Now, last time he pitched at Yankee Stadium, Wu won 7 no-hit innings. Then the Yankees came back late to win it, but he's already given up a double here in the first inning.
Yeah, Rice and Jazz had singles that kind of got that rally going a little bit. Maybe Jazz can get another one.
1-2. Play FanDuel's Daily Dinger for free every day for a chance at a profit boost if your selected player hits a home run. And here are the feature home run odds for today's players. Chisholm going deep, plus 330. Lombard going deep, plus 870. Deep to right field. But foul. Oh, did he hit that?
Boy, that was almost quite a prop that you read. Yeah, I mean, Jazz has always had extremely quick hands. The velocity on fastball doesn't bother him, and he just wasn't able to keep it fair. Boy, that would have been a big hit to start this game off.
Two. 3-2 on Chisholm.
Yeah, if I'm Wu here, I got to make him chase something. I have an open base. Jazz has seen you. Lombard Jr. hasn't. So this is a spot where he's got to beat me by chasing something.
Fouled away.
Threw one right down the middle, about thigh high.
I'm not listening to you.
It's pitch number 31 already, Michael.
Grounded foul.
Dan Fiorito, who was the first base coach and the infield coach, just olayed that ball. Aren't you? I mean, if you're the infield coach, aren't you supposed to show your guys you take that drop step, get a good angle at it, and you catch?
Now you're asking me?
Yes.
Yeah, I duck.
You
This will be the 9th pitch coming up. Dan could get a baseball anytime he wants. 3-2. High fly ball, left center. Rodriguez is there, and the Yankees' struggles continue with runners in scoring position. Big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered. Visit MLBshop.com/Yankees, the official source for your Yankees gear. They already have a line right there on the right with Lombard Jr. jerseys, and Joe and I were looking out in the stands before the game. A lot of 96s already.
it's great, right? He's made an impact on the fans already.
Here's Cole Young.
This kid's actually had a really good year. We're going to see a little ABS challenge here.
The catcher is challenging the pitch.
All right, ABS powered by T-Mobile, and Wall's been good at this, and he remains good at it.
Yeah.
The pitch is a strike. New York has 2 challenges remaining.
Young is just that. He's just 23 years old in his second big league season.
They have a young middle of the field. When you think about the shortstop's 21, Rodriguez is 25 in center field. Has made a big step offensively. Hit 211 last year. He's 265 this year. He's getting to play against lefties. He takes the ball the other way. But I've noticed a lot of the left-handed hitters from Seattle look for the ball up on lefties. And if it's up, they are hacking.
Popped up on the left side. McMahon runs out of room. Young, first-round pick in 2022 out of high school. 21st overall pick.
He's played in every game that they play. You don't get tired at 23, though. Let him be 33.
Managers usually don't allow it. That's why what Matt Olson's doing is pretty amazing.
Oh, truly amazing. What is he, 900?
Over 900 now, 901, I think. I mean, we're in the age of load management, Joe.
I've been in that age for a while.
Especially in the NBA.
Oh, I thought you meant me personally.
No.
I load manage for sure.
Three-two.
Pitchers always talking about grips. They want to feel the baseball, so when they get out there in a couple of days, it feels normal.
Hit sharply and grabbed there by McMahon. So smooth. And he turns it into an out. That was ticketed to left field and a base hit, but McMahon turned it into a 5-3.
Yeah, he does a really good job of drop stepping to get the good hop. And you're going to see him take that little drop step. He knows he has time. Young runs well, but not great. And he makes a strong throw, and Garcia's there to get it. I mean, I think for Garcia, who was a second baseman, he's going to have more range at first than a lot of first basemen. So you got a guy that should be pretty active around the bag. Ryan McMahon can play some defense.
Here's Cal Raleigh. Joe, I turn to you and go, well, what's happened?
I have
60
no
home
idea.
runs to this.
Well, I think he had an issue a little bit with a rib cage oblique that started maybe in the WBC early in the season. He tried to play through it, then went on the IL. He missed 4 or 5 weeks. And I've always said that it takes another 4 weeks before you truly get healthy, because you're just not as strong because you can't do everything. And I think it's really messed him up. He is late. A lot of times he is late on fastballs. He's not hitting the fastball. He's underneath it and having to work uphill. And I also think sometimes the stress of trying to repeat and the pressure, like, you're going to do it again, right? It's almost impossible to do it again.
He finished a very close second in the MVP voting to Judge. Historic 60 home runs by a catcher. Did he go? Yes, he did. Raleigh down on strikes.
Yeah, this is just a good changeup. And I almost feel like it, and he doesn't, so far this year, he hasn't hit either the changeup or the breaking ball. But he recognizes the breaking ball better than he does the changeup. And like, I watched him over the weekend, and there were some swings that I was a little nervous that he was going to leave the ballpark on some breaking balls.
With Donovan, there's a strike. Another guy whose season has been derailed by injury. This is just his 30th game of the year.
And he got off to such a great start. I mean, hit 304 the first 18 games, had over a 950 OPS, and then the growing issue started.
3 months with a left groin issue.
And I think he mixed in a birth of a baby in that too.
That you'll take.
Yeah. I mean, the first 3 weeks of the season, he was their offense.
That's off of Weathers. He scrambles after it. Bare hands, fires, and he fires it past Garcia. That's going to be a base hit for Donovan. It hit the fence in front of the camera well. So that was fortuitous for the Yankees. Otherwise, Donovan would be at second.
You see him telling himself, catch the ball. I mean, he is a guy that's, it's not Max Fried out there on ground balls hit back to him. I'll just put it that way. And then Garcia tried to get him, was trying to tell him, don't throw, and he ends up throwing it by him, but fortunately hits the net and doesn't go in the dugout, and he tells himself, catch the ball, catch the ball. Not a bad sidearm throw from down there.
Look, he's flying.
Maybe he could do it like Tony does when he's on the mound instead of off the mound.
Weston Wilson takes outside.
That would be a great picture.
Yeah, Air Weathers.
Air Weathers.
And it makes sense because Weathers is always in the air. Grounded foul. Great to see his father here for Old Timers Day.
Yeah.
I mean, what the smile on his face. I think he's so happy that Ryan's here.
I would have loved to see Ryan pitch to his dad. Have his dad get a bat and say, I'm going to pitch to you. You think Paul's sore from Old Timers?
Oh, he was sore on Sunday. His biggest complaint was Mo was pitching BP to him. And there's Weathers and Weathers on Old Timers Day, and he's hitting. He said he's hitting well, and then Mo just bore a cutter in on him. He said, "That's it, I'm done."
Well, he starts speeding you up. The only place you can hit it hard is foul.
Three and one on Weston Wilson. 3-2 as Wilson was taking his shin guard off.
And you would think that if you're taking your shin guard off, you're positive that it's a ball and you would check it.
He should have checked it.
Yeah.
So 3-2, the runner's going to go from first with 2 outs. Garcia playing behind him.
Lombard checked that exact pitch twice off of Chris Sale. That was pretty amazing.
And there's ball 4. So first and second, 2 men out, and the number 9 hitter, the kid, Colt Emerson.
You got to be careful with early counts to him. Fastballs up in the zone, middle in. He's going to get a visit. Pitching coach Matt Blake.
So Blake talking things over with his infield and with Weathers, and they have to face the 21-year-old Emerson. Made his major league debut on May 17th. He struggled at the plate, but he has locked down the shortstop job as J.P. Crawford's going to be a free agent at the end of the year, has moved to third. First-round pick in 2023, 22nd overall. And he signed an 8-year, $95 million extension March 31st, the largest ever for a player before making his major league debut.
Some pretty good young shortstops in the big leagues right now. McGonigal, Connor Griffin, Cooper Pratt with Milwaukee. He signed an 8-year deal.
Foul back.
The one thing about him, though, is he loves that fastball up. He will chase up. So I think you have to expand on him. He's got 8 home runs. There's power in this young man's bat, but he does chase up a lot in the zone.
Foul ball, 0-2.
There's that noise that makes me nervous, Michael.
That sound?
Yeah, because of Star Wars and Darth Vader, right? And it comes from that. I panic when I see him. When it's Star Wars Day at the field, I hated it. It scared me.
Ryan Rucco will talk you down. He loves Star Wars. 0-2.
Think about the infield that Auburn would have had. Him and Kevin McGonigal were both committed to go there.
Not too bad.
They've been friends since USA Baseball.
1-2. Pop foul right under our booth.
Well, that was close.
That's pretty close. I think somebody just made a catch down there. Yeah, look at the celebration.
There's James. James getting in on the act.
That's great. Somebody's not going to have a voice tomorrow.
I think they need to get some more. There's a lot of little kids down there. Who caught it? The lady with the ponytail?
She's going to go sell that ball now, isn't she? Cotton candy.
A little more sugar, yes. Let's go.
Joy at the park. Love it. 2-2. Ground ball, first base. Garcia will take it himself. Beats him to the bag. And Weathers works into and out of trouble. No runs ahead and 2 men left. Let's go to the bottom of the second. There's a happy fan. Well, George Lombard is going to lead off the bottom of the second inning. He's already made an imprint on the game. Not with his glove, with his hand, Joe.
Well, it might have left a little imprint on his fingers as he bare hands his ball. And whenever you get a weird hop like that, you're probably not going to catch it quite cleanly. You can see it might have hit his right index finger on the knuckle a little bit. Probably a little sore, but it'll go away. A little feeling, a little buzz in your fingers.
And there's a base hit to right center field.
Really bothered him. Here, let me just hit this line drive over second baseman's head. I've been really impressed with his at-bats because of his approach and his ability to walk 15% of the time, and it was high in the minor leagues, which tells me he has a really good eye, and we saw that against Chris Sale. And that's just a beautiful swing, staying behind it, not a lot going forward, letting the ball get to him, and a great finish.
There's Spencer Jones. Oh, and 1, cooking up something special with Hexclad. Join the hybrid revolution at hexclad.com. He's been streaky. First 10 games, struck out a lot. Next 21, it dropped. Now the last 14, it's dropped even more. You strike out 25% of the time with his power, you can deal with it.
You can live with that. And I have a theory on that.
Okay.
And I'm going to give it to you. I don't think he swings as hard against left-handers, and he's faced more left-handers. He doesn't need to swing hard. I think he's a little bit more conservative, and we've seen him hit lefties better than righties, and I think it's because he doesn't overswing.
So he's got to take that approach against righties.
Are you buying my theory? I like theories, Michael.
I don't dismiss it, I'll tell you that. Because he looks so great against Chris Sale, about as tough a lefty as you're going to find.
I think he thinks the other way more. And a lot of times Paul would talk about facing lefties sometimes can be a good thing because it gets your approach the right way.
One, 2. There's that big cut. He's down on strikes.
And he's going to have to do that against Seattle. He's going to have to lay off that pitch or at least foul it off because he's going to see a lot of velocity in these next 3 days with the starters. And that he can't do. Hard to have success there. Hard for anyone to have success up there.
So here's Ryan McMahon. Very conservative lead there by Lombard.
Wood doesn't give up a ton of stolen bases, 6 in 7 attempts, and Cal Raleigh throws out 25%. I think you can think about running here a little bit.
Now, that's another thing about Raleigh that's confusing. So the drop offensively, and he's also not framing as he did last year. Those numbers are down.
So that's one of those things that I think I've seen it happen to catchers. 1 year they're good, 1 year they're not. I'm not so sure how much that really tells you all the time in a sense, because you could get an umpire that gives you a lot on a certain day if you line up, and you're going to get a lot of credit for those, opposed to, you know, you get an umpire that doesn't give a lot. And so I don't really see a guy falling off that much. I don't.
Okay.
You don't forget how to catch in 4 months. And some of that could have to do with his pitching staff too. Are they bad misses? Because if they're bad misses, you have no chance of ever getting that. If they're good misses where they're close, you might be able to steal some strikes.
Lombard off first with 1 out. 0-2 count on McMahon. 1-2. Drilled deep to right field. Going back is Ward. He's on the track. He leaps and makes the play. Lombard hustles back to first, gets back and not doubled off. But McMahon hit it well, and Ward made a terrific catch.
You take a look at this catch. Ward gets back really quickly, never takes his eye off the ball, knows that he's on the track and he's got a leap. And I'm not quite sure if it would have went out, but he hits the wall. We're going to see him hit the wall, and he holds on. I don't think it's going to come out. The fan tried to take it.
I think the fan would have caught it.
Yeah. Jeffrey Mayer's son, maybe.
Austin Wells takes inside.
But there's another, and there's another sign that Lombard knew exactly what he was doing. He got out there just far enough to where he could get back. And if he doesn't catch, he's out as far as he can possibly be. Heads up base running.
Wells' last 15 games, 11 for 36. That's 306. So that was challenged by the Mariners, and they win the challenge, powered by T-Mobile. Now, Manuel Barbera, you spoke to Wells about his recent hot streak.
And guys, Wells just says he's seeing the ball better, and a lot of players will say that, but he was recalling the time when he went down with the cervical headaches versus how he feels now, and the ball literally looks clearer to him. I asked him if there are times in his career where it's been the same way. He said, yeah, there are times where the ball just looks clearer, bigger. That's the case right now, and he was recalling the cervical headaches, and he was trying to grind through it. Didn't really realize it at the time how much it was affecting him. But if you look at the splits, April a little bit more in line with where he was, then a precipitous fall off, and now he's closer to where he needs to be.
And the Yankees could use it. They did not pull off the trade for the catcher at the trade deadline, so that takes some pressure off him as well.
Yeah, it does. And, you know, that pressure was on him, and he was swinging the bat well at the end of July and through August here, so pressure didn't seem to bother him.
1-2.
And sometimes that gives you a sense of urgency, and I'm not saying that he doesn't have it because he plays hard every day, but it's like, I gotta go. You know, I don't want to lose my job. I want to be the catcher here for a long time.
Foul back to the screen. Grisham on deck. Wu deals, runner goes, pitch is high, throw to second is in time. It looked like he slowed down on the slide.
Yeah, it looked like he stuck a little bit with the slid, yeah.
So the tag is applied. They got him on the fingertips, and we go to the third. Time for Pinstripe Pride, brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. And tonight's picture is Demond and Brandon, who enjoyed a sunny day at the stadium last week. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride, mention the essence pictures you post to social media to reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you in a future game. Top of the order for Seattle against Ryan Weathers. Joe gave you the numbers. First and second innings usually struggle, but he's kept them off the board. And there's a ground ball to Lombard. One pitch, one out.
Taylor Ward has not swung the bat very well for Seattle since he came over for Baltimore. He was an on-base machine. That has not been the case since he's gotten there.
You know, the last play at the bottom of the second, you know, they water down the infield before a game. There's been a lot of rain here, but you know, the field's covered when it's raining. It actually looked like Lombard stuck on the slide. It slowed him down.
Well, I think that's the opposite end. You see players slide late and hard, and they slide over the bag. Maybe he slid a little bit too early. Didn't want to slide over the bag. And I think he kind of stuck when he hit the dirt.
1-1 to Arozarena. Pretty good jump, right?
Yeah, he gets a good jump. He peeks in. That's the right thing to do. And he just kind of, I think he started his slide a little bit too early. And the thing about wearing those oven mitts, it's harder to grab the bag and hold on because you don't have like a grip. It's a mitten.
Grounded second base behind the bag. Chaz Chisholm. 2 down. So is the juice worth the squeeze? Would you not have the oven mitt?
I would just slide feet first. And I used to put my gloves in my hands, so if I put my hands down, I was holding a fist and I wouldn't tear my hands. I'm not a huge fan of sliding head first because the one thing you need as a baseball player are your hands and your shoulders. And when those get beat up, because you get beat up sliding head first, your shoulders as well, it's problematic.
You almost wonder where it started. I know Pete Rose made it very popular. You know those.
He didn't slide though. He
flew.
He flew.
Yeah. Players must think they get there sooner. Fly ball, shallow right. Going back is Jazz. Coming in is Jones, and Jones stays with it and makes the play. 1-2 inning for Weathers and the Yankees. Late adjustment, but he holds on. It's time for a little segment we like to call.
How about that?
Yeah, it's what we call it. It's about Brian Wu. He's Chinese American on his father's side and speaks proudly about representing Asian Americans in the game. He grew up a San Francisco Giants fan, idolizing shortstop Brandon Crawford, who is the brother-in-law of Garrett Cole. And because his last name echoes Ric Flair's famous "woo," he's pitched in custom Flair cleats and earned a shout-out from the nature boy himself. That was pretty good.
How about that?
You like it? Yeah.
How about that?
You're the nature boy.
Yeah, I've been called that. And worse.
Who was the outfielder in Houston that when it came up, they used to do that? He was originally, I think, a Red Sox, then went to the A's, and then went to Houston. Left-handed hitter. He played right field. Oh, it used to drive me crazy.
And they called him Woo?
No, they did that shout, you know, Ric Flair's woo when
Josh
he came
Reddick?
up. Yes.
Austin Wells was up when Lombard got thrown out, so he gets a fresh count as he leads off the bottom of the third. High drive down the right field line, but it's hooking foul.
Yeah, the Yankees have had a couple of those. Jazz Chisholm had. They're just one tick too early. You can just let it get a little bit deeper. Yankees would have some runs at this point.
Ground ball first base. Wilson flips to Wu. Let's check out the defender, dynamic performer, and Wu at Yankee Stadium last year.
Yeah, he almost threw a no-hitter. He went through 7 before giving up a couple hits in the 8th. Jazz had one. Stanton ended up hitting a big 3-run home run, but he did not make it out of the 8th. And what did you say? It went from what to what?
It went from no-hitter to no way.
Came back and won that game. They were down 5-0.
Yeah. And the pitch to Grisham is a strike. So that's a ball, and it's going to be challenged by Raleigh. ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile. Raleigh's right.
You can see the conscious effort of trying to keep the ball away to Grisham because left center is so deep and it's hard to hit it out there. He's a pole hitter, and most of the fastballs they've thrown him have been up and away, so he can't go down and hook it, or he can't hit it in the right field bleachers.
The 0-2. Check out Papa John's key ingredients and career against the Yankees rule is 2.56.
And that's .96, 3 starts at the stadium.
Fouled away. Another nice crowd here at the stadium. Looks like it's over 40,000. Bleachers, both sides are packed. First game of this 3-game set. One, two. Foul ball.
What inning do they announce the attendance?
Usually around the 7th.
Okay.
Sometimes a little earlier.
So when I was a player, Joe Torre was the manager, Mel Stottlemyre, Don Zimmer, pitching coach, bench coach. They would play the attendance game.
Okay.
And they would do it in the 8th inning, and Joe knew that it was announced in the 7th. And someone would run him out what it was, right? And they would, you know, I don't know if they gambled on it or not, but they would.
My guess is they probably did.
And Joe won most of the time. He would throw him for a loop once in a while, but Joe was pretty clever. He'd get the attendance figure. These guys had no idea.
You know, a story like that in the book, The Jordan Rules by Sam Smith, like Michael Jordan was so competitive, they used to take commercial flights, so you'd wait there for your luggage to come on the carousel.
Oh, yeah.
And they would bet whose luggage would be there first, and they would bet a lot of money. And Jordan would grease the palm of the guy who puts it on and he would always win, and they couldn't figure it out. Drilled down the right field line. Is it high enough? Nope, it's off the base of the wall. Played out there by Ward. And Grisham is at second with a double.
I'm telling you, Michael, I've liked what I've seen the last few days with his ability to pull the baseball. And they were away, and they tried to stay away, and then they tried to front hip him, and they did not get it in enough. And he lets the ball get as deep as anyone in the game. He lets it get to him, does not go forward, gets the head of the bat to the ball. Just didn't get quite enough air under it, but ended up with a double. And here's another opportunity for the Yankees to score a run.
There's Ben Rice. He walked in the first inning, moved to third on the Garcia double, but Chisholm with a fly ball to left ended that threat.
I tell you, one of the things that to me has brought Ben Rice's numbers down is all the lefties teams have thrown against the Yankees, because there's not the fear of those big right-handed hitters in there. I saw on one road trip 7 of 9 left-handed starters.
And, you know, I get a lot of pushback when I talk about how much Judge means to this team, and that's why they're struggling the way they are. He's like the dog in the yard to start lefties. And you're not going to pitch to Judge. You're going to pitch to Rice before you pitch to Judge, so he's going to see better pitches too.
Yes, it makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. And teams, you know, when you have Judge and Stanton and Goldies, and you're not going to throw as many lefties. You're not going to go find them. Like, I feel like teams just go find them, and they set their rotation up after the break so they could do that. I mean, Ryan McMahon was never getting any starts because there were so many lefties, and he managed to keep his swing pretty much intact.
The 1-0. 1-1. One and two. Grounded foul.
That almost get Emmanuel?
It might have, because it fought its way through that slight opening in the screen.
I didn't hear the mic drop, so he didn't dive out of the way.
He could be down. I'm not quite sure. Emmanuel, are you okay?
I'm okay. I was ducking.
Thank goodness.
Near miss right there, guys.
In on the hands and foul back. There was a guy just fighting for the ball, and he almost flipped over that second deck. Ooh. He wanted it so bad. He got it, though. He got it. Fouled away. Another souvenir. Watch this. Watch this, Joe.
Oh, goodness.
And now there's a possibility you go off the glass there.
I think his buddy was pushing him too. What's that say?
Wow. I guess he's okay. He goes around and Rice down on strikes.
Yeah, pretty good slider here. Usually he's late, sharp depth, and he likes to throw it down and in to the lefties. And after so many fastballs up and away, he changed his eye level and changed speeds, and he got him out front.
There's Elliot Ramos. He struck out looking in the first inning.
Think about the difference in the two ballparks that he's played when it comes to home runs. San Francisco, if you're a right-handed hitter, you want to be a pole guy because that wall gets really far back and really high in right field, and it's the opposite here. So you wonder how much he tries to adjust what he does as a hitter and how much of that is in his mind.
Long run for Wilson. Still 1-2 on Ramos. 1 for 18 as a Yankee. They're certainly getting Wu's pitch count up. He's at 70 pitches, 2 outs into the third.
Yeah, the Mariners are going to get deep into that bullpen.
Ground ball, Emerson, and that'll do it. Yankees strand a runner at second. We'll go to the fourth. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com. And by Optimum Fiber, famously fast fiber internet. Some of the players that have played for both Seattle and the Yanks. Who could forget Ichiro? It was a joy to watch him those couple of years in the Bronx. We go to the fourth, 0-0. Weathers deals outside to Dominic Canzone.
Yeah, early in the year they were platooning Canzone, but his at-bats have been so good against lefties. He ended up releasing Rob Refsnyder. He's in there every day hitting fourth.
I've not seen Refsnyder picked up by anybody.
No, and he was such a good bat in Boston against lefties.
And also supposedly great in the clubhouse.
Yes, a leader.
And they signed him to a pretty good deal, for platoon part, $6 million. That was a strike.
I remember the Yankees when he was coming up, Aaron Judge was coming up. They were really close. They had leadership camp in the minor leagues, and both those guys were there. And it's not surprising to me. I think it was something that Gary Dembo introduced, or Pat Russell, or I'm not sure who it was, that both those guys ended up becoming leaders. I mean, they were trained to be leaders by the Yankees in the minor league system.
2-2. Missed outside. Count full on the leadoff batter, Canzone.
It's been a week since he has pitched, and he's been a little bit off tonight. There's been a number of 3-ball counts.
Nice play.
Huh? I mean, with ease.
Yeah. And the payoff. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. Got him chasing upstairs.
And this is just a four-seamer. You see the fingers going across the seams. You see the rise. It's not really rise. It's just carry on the ball. And that's just too high. It looks good. Joe Dillon said it was like chocolate mousse. It looks good for you, but it's not. He's my hitting coach in Philly.
It's Cole Young. Joe, we touched on this a little bit in the open. It had been a problem for Weathers. The ball was leaving the yard a lot. Last 5 starts, he's been a different pitcher. Is it because he's not using that four-seamer as much?
I believe so. I think that's the pitch that he gave up a number of the home runs on. The sinker, it's not a ton of movement, but it's just enough to stay off the barrel. And since he stopped using his four-seamer, there's so much deception to his sweeper and his changeup. They're not hitting the ball out of the ballpark. And I will knock on the Formica, which is over the wood, and make sure it doesn't leave the ballpark.
1-1. So it doesn't mean that he completely abandons the four-seamer. You just don't see it as much.
Yeah, he's not trying to get strikes with it. He's trying to get chases with it, is what he's doing up in the zone. So there's not a lot in the zone.
Popped up. Lombard out. Makes the play.
Little things that he does that shows you the maturity of George Lombard Jr. He called it, he got under it, and he put his hand down so Ramos could see that he was under control and that he had it. And you see the usage of the four-seamer. I mean, it is really dropped. But since that, he's been really effective.
I mean, that's a big drop-off. 29%.
Yeah. And it's not like he's added it, like he's throwing his sinker a ton more. It's just he's using his off-speed a ton more.
Mm-hmm. There's a strike. 3-1 on Raleigh. You know, another theory about Raleigh struggles, Joe. WBC.
You don't get your normal at-bats.
Right.
And I know it's really important to our game, but we saw with Goldschmidt, he didn't have a lot of at-bats in the WBC. Started off really slow.
High fly ball. Left center. Ramos is there. Then a 1-2-3 inning. So Weathers has retired 7 in a row. Well, let's check out one of today's player props brought to you by Bet365, where winning is everything. Luis Garcia Jr. had a double in the first inning. If he hits 1 or more home runs, his number's plus 550. Tri-State Cadillac scoreboard, 0-0 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. And we said this in the open, these are two teams that are having trouble scoring runs. And you have two good pitchers on the mound. So this type of game you kind of expected.
Yeah, the Yankees are 13th in scoring runs, but since June 18th, they're last at 3.28.
Unbelievable.
And the Mariners are second to last at 3.30.
Garcia, Chisholm, and Lombard against Wu. Fouled away.
22 of his 24 home runs this year are to the pull side. So this ballpark should just play so well for him. Michael, can you help me with something?
Of course.
They have the players on the board dressed up in outfits. What is that?
Well, they're giving out a K-pop Demon Hunter bobbleheads, so they're dressed up as some of the Demon Hunters.
Huh.
Fly ball, center field. J-Rod. So this is Rumi from the K-pop Demon Hunters. That was given out today.
He's got the purple hairband to match.
Yeah. Look how happy. See, it's so nice to make people happy. And they're all dressed up in the regalia.
That's what it's called?
Yeah, that's what we're going with. There's Jazz Chisholm. Had an opportunity to drive in a run in the first inning, second and third, nobody out. He had or 2 men out. Had a long drive to right field, but it went foul. And they ended up flying out to left field for the final out.
Yeah.
0-2.
Yeah, he had a long at bat. Number of pitches. He got to a 3-2 count and ended up hitting it pretty deep to left center.
That was the center fielder who recorded the out, so my bad. It wasn't left field. It was J-Rod.
No, you were right. You said center.
I think I said left.
Oh.
Swing and a miss. Chisholm down on strikes. We've been seeing a lot of swing and miss with Jazz. I don't know if he's trying to go yard, but a lot of swing and miss.
Yeah, and this is that sharp, tight, late dropping slider that he throws. It's not a ton of movement, but it's just so late. You can see him out front. Hand comes off the bat. He loses his posture.
Lombard singled his first time up. That was in the second inning, so 1 for 1. Hitting .333 in his young career. This is game 6. And in game 6, he's batting 6th in the Yankee lineup already.
Well, the Yankees stacked it with left-handers because left-handers have 700 OPS going into today, and right-handers only 585. So he's one of the few righties to kind of split up the lefties.
Joe, how much advantage do you think that a kid with, the requisite skills has over a kid whose dad is not in the big leagues?
Well, I think a lot because he's around the ballpark and he sees every day what it takes.
Ground ball is short, and they just get the hustling Lombard for the final out of the 4th. We're going to the 5th inning here in the Bronx. Joe Girardi, it's time for pitching decisions presented by Sage.
Yeah, Ryan Weathers threw 4 innings, 1 hit and 3 strikeouts. A changeup up to the Rose Arena, and then you see Cal Raleigh gets him on the chain, and Canzone chases that high sinker up and in. He has not been as sharp tonight, and as I said earlier, it's been a week since he's pitched, but he has done a really good job again so far. Some longer counts tonight.
Let me ask you about the psychological effect. The Yankees starting pitching has been extraordinary, and they're not getting runs scored for them. And we can say the same thing about Seattle. How does that affect the pitcher where he knows, I've got to be perfect?
I think it keeps them locked in.
It does.
Yes, and I think they're competing against each other because, this second half, all these guys are throwing the ball really, really well, and I think they're feeding off of each other.
You don't think there's any frustration that sets in, that they're not getting supported?
I think there can be at times, but it hasn't seemed to bother the Yankees because they just keep pitching well.
One, two.
You look at Cole at 2.27 since the break, Fried a 1.83, Weathers a 2.31, and Cam a 2.89. And Will Warren has thrown the ball pretty well his last few times as well. So doesn't seem to be bothering him.
Ground ball. McMahon gets Donovan. You mentioned Cam. So Cam right now has I believe it's a 4.9 WAR, which is the tops of anybody in baseball for pitching. He started 24 games for the Yankees. His ERA is about 2.21, I think. Yankees are 14-10 in those starts.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. But a lot of times you're matched up against the other ace. And this is how they're winning. They're winning with pitching and defense and some timely home runs. I mean, that's the other thing that, the last couple months, they've scored more runs via the home run than anyone in baseball.
Right.
And you don't have your big sluggers in there.
So then you get turned into an offense that you're really not built to be, like stringing together 4 or 5 hits.
Right, but I believe that it's going to come all together. I really do when everyone gets back. And I believe that they're going to get everyone back. And it will be a completely different offense. Because early on, their offense was pretty good. I mean, that one big right fielder adds about 1.5 runs per game.
Yeah. I mean, it's right there in the stats. It tells you you're not even being hyperbolic. That's what it does.
Yes. And he's still going to be that big right fielder.
1-2 on Weston Wilson. Right back to Weathers. 2-away. Time for tonight's injury report, brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Stanton continued light base running today, was out on the field. Carlos Rodon expected to make his second rehab start on Thursday. If all goes well, then do you extend him up here or get him another start? And then Cody Bellinger continued outfield drills today. And when asked about it before the game, he didn't guarantee it, but the way Boone looked at it, in this order will probably be Bellinger, Stanton, and Judge returning. And this is Stanton running the bases earlier. He's had 2 separate calf injuries that have kept him out since the end of April.
That's all he needs. That's a ground rule double. You know what's amazing too, when a guy has like leg problems like Stanton, somehow he always finds his way that he has to run hard, and you're like, oh.
Right.
And as a manager, you're just holding your breath.
The 1-1. Joe, when you look at Colt Emerson, you say, yeah, he's 19.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks really young.
He's just 21 years old. I mean, he should probably be just going into senior year of college.
Swing and a miss. Weathers dealing. He's retired the last 10 in a row. We're halfway through. It's 0-0. Optimum Fiber famously fast replay.
Well, he likes pitching at Yankee Stadium. He's got 4 strikes.
That bat with that longer swing, but the 2-strike approach, James Rowson saying as he sees more big league pitching, it may not always result in a base hit, but Spencer Jones is working deep counts and passing the baton to the point where he's helping his other teammates out. He sees a lot more maturity, just over a couple of weeks, maybe not the same player a couple of weeks ago as he is now.
And as Joe said earlier, he's really looked a lot better against lefty pitching, more so than righties. High fly ball. Somewhat shallow center. Rodriguez will put it away. 1 down.
You know what the big leagues force you to do, Michael?
What's that?
Make adjustments. Because like you can get away with a lot of stuff in the minor leagues when you don't see velocity. The breaking balls aren't as good. And then all of a sudden they expose your weaknesses and you have to make adjustments. And it takes work. But we've seen that work pay off for him somewhat already, and he has not chased as much up to me, and he's fouled some of them off, and that was something that happened a lot early. So just keep closing those holes up.
There's Ryan McMahon. McMahon drove Ward back to the wall in the second inning, and he made a really nice catch. Probably wouldn't have gone out, but it would have been an extra base hit for sure. Good play by Ward. Bottom of the fifth inning, 0-0. Seattle with 1 hit, the Yankees with 3.
I really believe with Seattle starting pitching and the Yankees starting pitching, all 3 games could be like this.
On top of 2 teams that struggle offensively. Swing and a miss, wave through that one.
And the Yankees have not picked up the sliders that they're finishing the left-handers off with. And he's got such a good fastball, you have to honor that. And he forces you to speed up. And when you speed up, he throws this. And you're not going to hit that.
Here's Wells. Oh, and 1.
Well, you said it, get him early. If you get him early, he starts thinking like, oh, here we go again. They had runners on, 2 runners on in the first, second and third. They weren't able to scratch a run across. And now look, he's in the 5th, dealing.
You know, a somewhat lengthy at bat by Wells. Almost as sure as they get rid of Wu at the end of this inning.
Yeah.
He's at 87. If you could push him up to 95, they might not bring him out for the 6th.
About 3 or 4 hits in a row. That'll get rid of him, too.
Jose A. Ferrer, one of their left-handers, is warming for the Mariners.
He has not gotten a lot of run support. He's had some tough losses. 2-1s.
One, 2. 2-2 on Wells.
Good job of Wells laying off that. That's the one that got Jazz and got Ben Rice. Tells me he's seeing the ball pretty good.
Pitch number 90. Drilled foul. Missed with that one. 3-2.
Ooh, thought he had that. He thought that was strike 3. He kind of gave that little hop at the end here. A little style. Let's see. Is it down? Ooh. He thought he had it.
And the payoff. Ground ball first base. Wilson flips to Wu. And that will do it. Wu, 13 straight scoreless innings. He retired 8 Yankees in a row. Thank you, Justin. They've lost 3 games in a row, so they get Adley Rushman today, made his Major League debut, out since July 18th. Tampa Bay Rays don't lose anymore. 7-game winning streak, 16-4 last 20. And Blake Snell, first start since May 9th, elbow surgery. And it doesn't seem like it affects the Dodgers because they just want their pitchers ready for the postseason.
Well, they got 10 starters, that's why.
Yep.
You just run the other 5 out.
Taylor Ward.
Tampa Bay, they score 8 in the 8th
Yes.
last night to win. They swept Seattle there. Didn't give up any runs there. This is almost as strange to me as Wu's, splits. He has the 4th highest increase in on-base percentage of .57. He went from 317 to 374. But the 3rd biggest decrease in slug, and he has sacrificed on base for slug and is not nearly as productive. Last year, this is a ton of home runs. He had 36 home runs with 103 RBIs. And now he's got 7. It's mind-boggling to me why he wouldn't have just tried to be a little bit more selective. And
So you'd rather a guy with a lot of home runs and a low on base than what you're getting now?
yes. There's production. There's not you're relying on other people for the production. I mean, you look at the difference in OPS. It's 792 to 716. So that tells you that he was a better hitter in 25 too.
Grounded out the short twice against Weathers. Oh, that's going to be challenged by Wells. I think he might get a strikeout on this one. ABS powered by T-Mobile. We'll take a look. Ooh.
The pitch is the ball. New York has 1 remaining.
From up here, like a strike. From down there, like a strike to Wells.
It's just above the zone. He was shocked that the umpire didn't call it. He was going to throw it around the infield.
Yep. Right back to Weathers. Keeps mowing him down. 11 in a row retired by the Yankee lefty.
Again, he had a tough first 2 innings where he threw 49 pitches, and he's been able to keep his pitch count down, some quick innings to get into the 6th.
Came into the game 17 2/3 scoreless innings. He's 5 1/3 scoreless innings today.
It's 23.
As Northwestern.
Yeah, that's my thing, the math.
Brought to you by your local Tri-State Buick dealers. Most home runs against the Yankees. Devers first, tied with Guerrero, and then Arozarena. And that includes the postseason.
2020 as a rookie, he had 10 in the postseason, which is a record. Really burst onto the scene. Here's a hard throwing lefty, some sink to it.
The 1-1, 2-1. Rip foul.
I was curious when Randy and Cal had that little disagreement in the WBC, whatever you want to call it, how it would affect both players and how they were viewed by the fans. And watch this pitch.
High fly ball right field. On the run is Jones, and that ball's gone. Into the short porch, he goes the other way. And finally a run on the board. It's for Seattle. It's 1-0.
Yeah, it looked like it was a fastball up in the zone, and he was late, but he got the barrel to it and was able to hit it out to right field.
Wu's got the chart because now he's on the winning side.
But what I was saying is, in watching the games over the weekend, they were chanting his name the whole time, every time he came up. Yeah. Yeah, and here's the pitch. This is just a two-seamer that he's trying to throw away. He left it up above the belt. And Randy, who had just hit a rocket foul down the left field line, went the other way. And you got to be careful with Julio because he'll do the same thing. Look at this swing, how tight that back elbow stays to his side. Keeps him inside the ball. He uses his legs to go down into his legs to get the ball in the air. To get on plane with the swing.
Line drive, and it's caught by Lombard.
Yeah, we take one more look. I mean, he didn't hit it great, but it's the right place to go in Yankee Stadium. It's about 6 rows deep, and he has been the most consistent player and hitter in their lineup all year long, and he puts them up 1-0. It's a lot of handshakes you have to remember. You were talking about when they took the field, and I used to complain about it. I said, how can you guys remember 25, 26 handshakes, but you can't remember the signs that we're giving at third base or the pitch outs?
And they probably didn't have an answer. Now that home run by Rosarena ends a 22 2/3 inning scoreless streak. That's a career long for Weathers. First out of this inning doesn't count because he allowed a run this inning. So it's 22 2/3.
I got to tell you, that doesn't make any sense to me.
So you think it should count?
Yes, he got an out, the first hitter.
I think you should yell at James. He's the one who comes up with the stuff.
James, get that rule changed, please.
Three and one on Canzone. Grounded foul. And the payoff. He walked up. That will be the final batter faced by Weathers. 106 pitches. He's certainly done his job. Giving up 1 run and 5 2/3. The one first is his responsibility. So Boone goes to the bullpen with Cole Young coming up. And Weathers does another good job. It's time to name that Yankee. Brought to you by Prevagen. Made for your brain. There's a 4.253, 28 home runs, 693 OPS. Played for the Yankees in 11, so that means he's managed by Joe. And then with the Mariners from 2012 to 2015. You got this one, Joe?
Not yet.
I think I might have it. Let me see. So 1-0 on Young. Chop foul. Now, did you see that, Joe? The first base coach of the Mariners tried to make that play, booted it, and is it worth the grief he's going to get?
He's an outfielder.
They retire Young, and that'll do it. But the Mariners get on the board with a home run by Rosarena into the short porch at right. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning, 1-0 Seattle. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Ford stores, proud to be the official SUV of the Yankees. And by Delta, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Delta, keep climbing. All right, so the Mariners got their run. Now the Yankees have to play some catch-up. And the Mariner bullpen with a 3.78 combined ERA goes to Jose Ferrer.
Yeah, a really high ground ball rate, top 5% in baseball. Sinker, changeup, has a break in balls. Changeup has good run to it. 96 to 100, and it has a low whiff rate. Hard for me to figure out.
And these are the lanes where the Yankees are made up against a right-handed hitting team or a right-handed pitcher. They're lanes galore to get left-handers, to bring in left-handers to neutralize them. You've got Grisham, Royce, 2 left-handers. Then, okay, you get Ramos. Then Garcia and Chisholm. So 4 of the next 5 guys are left-handed.
And they have 3 lefties in their bullpen. Spires off suspension. He was suspended 3 games.
And we're going to see all of them throughout the series.
Bizzardo, probably their setup as a right-hander, has really struggled. He's given up 6 home runs in his last 12 games. So I don't know how much of him you'll see. And he has a great sinker, and the ball is just leaving the ballpark.
Now Ferrer has allowed 6 runs over his last 4 games, so he's raised his season ERA by a full run from 2.66 to 3.56. Popped up, long run for Donovan. He's going to run out of room. Now they got him from the Nationals in December, and the GM Jerry DiPoto said that he was a top trade target.
Yeah, Bizzardo's actually up, and I gotta believe that you wouldn't bring him in until Lombard.
Yeah.
Unless they're thinking that they might run out a pinch hitter.
Yeah. All 4 guys on the bench for the Yankees right-handed. Right center field. And J-Rod makes the play as Grisham is retired.
I mean, I wouldn't think they would pinch hit before possibly Chisholm. But as a manager, you got to be prepared, because it could be a big situation and they pinch hit for Garcia with Goldie, and you want the righty up there.
Ben Rice with a strikeout and a walk. 0-1 here against Ferrer.
Well, let's get the 3 true outcomes. You know what comes next?
Home run.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, 2. So Ben 0 for 1 tonight. He's 12 for his last 80. And that's in the last 21 games. Had some big hits, though, against the Braves, as he swings and misses against Ferrer, 2 away.
Yeah, it seems that most of his hits have been big hits. He had the big one against the White Sox.
Yep.
It's a pretty good slider here. You see the spin, the little dot that you look for as a hitter. There it is. It's down and off the plate. You can't get to it. You just run out of bat.
Elliot Ramos 0 for 2 takes a strike.
Yeah, this is just a perfect pitch. It's down and away, just off the plate, just below the zone. So we were talking about the Joe Torre, Mel Stottlemyre downs. We just heard him announce the attendance.
Right.
So what inning is it? The 6th.
What was it, 41,407?
I think so, yeah.
So Joe would have known that.
Joe would have guessed
Zim
like
and
41,425.
And they never caught on.
No, it took them a really long time to figure it out. That's why he was such a great manager. He's always one step ahead.
Two. Still 2-2. One nothing Seattle on the Arozarena home run and the top of the 6th. Swing and a miss on the change. Good inning for Ferrer as the Yankees go down in order. 1, 2, 3. The Yankee bullpen budget brought to you by Citizens. Make sense of your money with Citizens. Joe, you know the great feeling for a manager when they finally get a day off so they can reset the bullpen. I'd still say they probably want to stay away from Blackburn, but everybody else certainly can be used.
It's a nice feeling, especially if some of the guys had a day off before the day off, and then they get 2 days off.
Cal Raleigh spins around to the right side against Hill. Takes pitch outside 1-0. Hill got the final out of the 6th in relief of Ryan Weathers. Raleigh 0 for 2 against Weathers. That one's grounded up the middle. Right there. Lombard. 1 down. Help America's Heroes. Donate $11 a month and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to t2t.org. Joe, did you see the picture on social media today or yesterday on Wade Boggs?
No.
He was fishing without a shirt, and he's absolutely shredded.
Really?
There's a guy who obviously has battled cancer.
Oh, there he is.
It's unbelievable. He looks like a bodybuilder.
Good for him.
There, I mean, look at him. I mean, you were his teammate. He didn't look like that when he
No,
played.
he did not. No, he didn't.
Good for Wade. He's 68 years old.
Man, could he manipulate a bat? Hit the ball and hit to certain situations and hit it where he wanted. Ton of power, even though he never really played that card. Kind of like Ichiro. 68 and shredded.
I think he's manipulating a weight bar now. It's unbelievable.
Michael, you're right there.
I'm right there close to age, but that looks. I'm proud of Wade. Good for him.
Boy, could Jimmy Key irritate Wade Boggs. I'll be real quick with this story. One of my favorites, they went turkey hunting. Right. And they did not see one turkey, and Boggsy was screaming at him in the clubhouse the next day. The following day, Jimmy Key brought in 2 frozen turkeys, threw them in his locker, and said, here's your turkeys.
Grounded to McMahon, the retired Wilson. Good inning for Hill and the Yankees as Seattle goes down in order. At the end of 6.5 innings of play, it's Seattle 1, the Yankees nothing, but it's time for the 7th inning stretch. So we'll stay right here as we honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you rise? Remove your caps and please direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest. United States Army Major Salvatore Habano from Brooklyn, who served in Operation Iraqi Freedom and was awarded the Bronze Star. The Yankees say thank you, Salvatore, for your sacrifice and service to our nation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please join us in singing along with Robert Merrill's rendition of God Bless America.
Stand beside her
Well, thank you, Justin. Let's check out tonight's Gusto game recap. Not much offense. 1-2-0 for Seattle. The Arozarena home run, the only blemish on the board. 0-3-0 for the Yankees. Wu went 5. Weathers 5 2/3. Trent Grisham with a double for the Yanks. Go to the bottom of the 7th. Michael Rucker comes on.
Yeah, that 3.75 is due to his month of June, where he had a 7.36, but since July, 2.70 and no runs given up in the month of August. He's been really good. And he manipulates his fastball pretty well. He has the ability, which a lot of guys don't today, to throw it down and away to hitters. He can elevate, and as you said, he's got a really good curveball.
Does it make sense, Joe, to bring in a righty now when you're starting off with 2 lefties that can do damage against you?
Yeah, I thought Ferrer might go back out there at least to face the first hitter, and then you could decide if they were going to pinch hit. But obviously, he likes him in this situation.
Drilled to right field, and it's going to be over the head of Ward. Then Karams past him. Garcia hustles to second. He's going to stop there with a leadoff double.
Yeah, Ward did not play that ball very well. He thought that he could get to it, and once he wasn't able to, he got too close to the fence, and it just ricochets off the fence. This is a fastball right down the middle, and we've seen him hit 2 doubles tonight, both of them over the right fielder's head, and you see this get past Ward, and once it gets past him, it's a for sure double. Think about Garcia. He was a second baseman most of his career, but he does not have great speed. Makes a good decision with nobody out, not to make the first out, the third. Now, Jazz has got to do his job. You got to find a way to get him over there, Jazz. You might get him in, but at least get him over. And these are situations that I think the Yankees have to get better at.
Because the home runs are not as plentiful.
Right. They're 2-9 in extra inning games. And a lot of times they leave the runner stranded at second base. You don't have to be the hero here. Just do your job.
Wasn't that the slogan that Bill Belichick had with the Patriots? Just do your job.
Do your job.
Everybody do your job.
Yeah.
Two and 1 on Jazz, who's 0 for 2. Foul back. 2-2. They still have 2 more lefties in the pen, 4 righties to go. He gets the job done and more. Base hit to right field. Garcia is going to hold up as the throw comes in. It's cut off. A base hit for Jazz Chisholm. The Yankees have runners on the corners and nobody out.
And a lot of times when you do your job, you're rewarded with a hit. And he did the right thing. He got the ball on the ground. It was a fastball up in the zone and pulled it. That was his job, to pull a ground ball. And he gets rewarded by getting a hit. Now the Yankees have first and third with a really good base runner. And another good decision. Don't send him here. It's a short right field porch. Ward got to that quickly. And I like how he slid to stop. I think that's smart.
So Pete Woodworth, the pitching coach, is going to go out and talk with Rucker. He's got to be in for at least one more batter.
Yeah, and you talked about it not leaving Farrar in there. Well, he threw an inning and a third on Sunday, and maybe they're not comfortable with him throwing multiple innings very much because you don't see him do a lot of it during the course of the season. Saw him do it twice, maybe 3 times, and that is it. He's a 1-inning pitcher. And you have reports that you'll get when a guy sits down and comes back out, he's not the same.
But you still do have 2 other lefties out there.
Oh, I know.
So Hedrick getting ready. It's 1-0 Seattle. Now Seattle brings the infield in with runners on first and third. They don't want the tying run to score because they don't score a lot of runs. They've got to protect that lead. And the pitch to Lombard is a strike.
And I think Cole Young is close enough to second base. If they were to run, you could still throw to second base. A lot of times when the infield's in, you just tell you got to go because they can't get back. But he's close enough that he could do it.
There he goes. Swung on and grounded foul. He had the base stolen. And he knows it, but
it was 0-1. If there's no strikes, you have to take that pitch. But with one strike, you can't go down 0-2.
It's like he never looked over there, so Jazz just took off. Jazz 30 stolen bases. First and third, nobody out. Infield in. Lombard 1 for 2. Now paying attention. The umpire called timeout, so I guess they're not counting that throw over.
I wonder why he called timeout.
Well, you could see that Valentine just told Jazz it's still 0 throws over. Runner goes. Fly ball right side. On the run is Ward. And it makes the seats. Now Dominguez joins Bizzardo. Closer at first as Jazz dives back. Way outside. Jazz was dancing there. Looked like he was going to go, then decided to hold up.
That almost looked like a pitch out, too.
Yeah.
And you don't see a lot of those in the game of baseball anymore. Pitching coaches don't want to give away, ball 1, ball 2. They don't want to do that, so you don't see them very much. There's a questionable stop there. Questionable stop by Rucker, changing his times to home, where Jazz can't time him and take off. This kid's had some big at-bats already in his short career.
Swing and a miss. The throw to second. Safe. Just missed the tag on the backside as Garcia stays put at third. So Lombard strikes out. They're going to check the replay, see if they challenge.
Really good slide where he gets his body going away from the tag, and I don't think he ever touches it. Take a look at pitch by pitch to Lombard Jr. here. Fastball, he gets ahead of him inside, and then he throws him a little breaking ball. Fastball away. Looks like a pitch out. And then that slider down, and then he throws him a fastball. Strikes him out.
Ball 1 to Spencer Jones. Infield remains in. Now a ball squeezes through. That's 2 runs. Jones 0 for 2. 31st stolen base for Jazz Chisholm. Count 1-1 on that foul ball.
I kind of like this at bat for Spencer Jones because Rucker's not a guy that lives up in the zone. He likes to throw that breaking ball down, and I think Spencer has shown the ability to hit that.
Two and 1 on Jones. McMahon's on deck.
That's an ugly stat right there. It happens though. Guys start to try to do too much.
That one just missed off the outside corner of the count, 3-1.
Yeah, this is that little short curveball that he throws that he's had so much success on. Spencer's got to make sure he gets a strike here.
Jones with 15 ribbies and 5 home runs, hitting .208. Pitch. Clobbered foul. It goes into the upper deck.
And I think, to me, that's trying to do too much, because you should be thinking the center of the field. And to pull a fastball that much, you're cheating, right? You got to stay through the middle.
Rucker steps off.
Tells me he didn't like the pitch that was called.
Three-two, missed inside, so Spencer Jones works a walk to load the bases. Garcia at third, Chisholm's at second, Jones is at first. So now the shortstop, Emerson's going to back up. So is Young, but not all the way. He's probably 3/4. And then they're in at the corners, looking for the double play off the bat of McMahon. There's a strike. So you can run on a Rosarena. You shouldn't run on J-Rod, and proceed with caution against Ward. The two lefties they have in the bullpen, they don't have them up. They just don't want Boone to counter with Rosario or Goldschmidt or Caballero. No place to put McMahon. The count now 2-1.
Yeah, Bizzardo on the left as if they're winning. Sir Anthony Dominguez on the right, to me, as if they're losing. He has been a real struggle with him. It started with the White Sox. He started off as the closer, lost that role. He's had a really hard time. But he's been great against the Yankees.
Yep. Raleigh goes out and talks with Rucker. Shot of Dan Wilson, the Seattle Mariner manager, alongside his pitching coach Woodworth. Stu Shorewater breaks up the conference on the mound. Big pitch upcoming, 2-1 with the bases loaded. McMahon at the plate.
Have you seen any Lou Piniella and Dan Wilson? Because that was his man.
Yeah, I have not seen that. Although he did go nuts the other day.
He did.
Yep.
Not a baby.
Hit sharply and through for a base hit. Garcia scores. Here comes Chisholm. He'll score. They throw behind the runner at second. Jones is back. It's a big 2-run single for Ryan McMahon. And the Yankees lead 2-1.
Talked about with Spencer Jones trying to stay through the middle the other way with runners in scoring position, and that's exactly what Ryan McMahon did. He's a pull hitter, and because he's trying to do that, he's able to stay on this curve, and we've seen him hit a number of balls through that hole this year. Just a huge event. Jazz was making me a little nervous. Spencer Jones was making me a little nervous with the base running there, but you see how he just stays behind it, hits it out front a little bit, but his approach is the right way through the middle, and he ends up being rewarded for it. You think about the big hits in this inning. The hit by Jazz, a ground ball. The hit by Ryan McMahon, a ground ball. Just do your job.
McMahon now 6 for his last 19. He picks up RBIs number 29 and 30, and the Mariners go to the bullpen. Come out to Yankee Stadium on Friday, August 21st when the Yankees take on the Blue Jays. First 18,000 guests in attendance receive Cody Bellinger bobblehead courtesy of T-Mobile. Tickets are going fast, so get yours today, Yankees.com. Edward Lizardo against Austin Wells. First and second, one man out. Yankees finally get a big hit with runners in scoring position. And that's a high fly ball. Shallow right field. Who's going to get there? No one. It drops in. And the runners advance. It's a base hit for Wells, and the bases are loaded. Boy, that was trouble off the bat, Joe.
Yeah, it was, because the infield is playing a little bit in for double play depth. It didn't look like Ward got a good jump on it. You could see the second baseman is playing towards first base, and it's just in that little triangle. Ends up being a big hit. Allow the Yankees to possibly score some more runs. I mean, Lizardo does his job. He gets the pop up, but the one thing this team lacks is range. Outs above average, they are dead last.
Swing and a miss by Trent Grisham.
So go figure, Michael. Lizardo, 2 home runs he gave up in his first 47 games. 6 in the last 12. You get a pop up like that, you probably, ooh, I got an out. And then you're like, oh boy.
Ground ball, base hit through the left side. Jones scores. Here comes McMahon. Here's the throw. It's cut off. It's a 2-run single by Grisham. And the Yankees lead 4-1.
I gotta tell you, I have loved this inning. Finding a way to put the ball in play and not trying to do too much, not trying to pull the ball. There's a lot of hits the other way, and I know your slug is nearly not as great, but sometimes it calls for just a base hit, and that's what they've done all inning. And look, they got 4 runs.
Are you surprised that cut off, Joe?
No, he does not have arm strength. The one thing he does do is he gets the ball in the air, but you could see that ball just kind of dying.
Pitch upstairs to Rice, because he fielded it very shallow in left field. They still waved to him, McMahon, knowing he doesn't have a good arm.
Yeah, he got to it quickly, but it just kind of starts to die, and it's off target. You can see that it's off target, and they're never going to get it.
2-0 on Rice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some questions about not leaving the left-hander in, even though he's not a guy that usually has the up-down, or not going to another left-hander. Gabe Spire has been off because he was suspended. I know righties killing, but he's been really good against lefties.
So Rucker started this inning. Now he's parked on the bench as Lizardo has cleared those runners. Runners on first and second are his responsibility. That's fouled off. Three and 1 on the Yankee DH. High fly ball left field. Arozarena. We're out number 2.
Here's the thing about that play not being made on Wells. The shortstop and the second baseman were playing double play depth. They might get to that ball that Grisham hits if there's 2 outs. By not making the play, it cost him possibly 2 runs.
So here's Ramos, the 9th Yankee to come to the plate. Ramos is 0 for 3 and 1 for 20 as a Yankee. High fly ball, right field. Ward is there, and that will do it. But the Yankees get the big hits they need. First, it's Ryan McMahon. He goes to the left side of the infield to score 2. Then Trent Grisham takes his turn. Another ground ball that finds a hole. Another 2 runs, a 4-1 Yankee lead. Game on Yes is Thursday afternoon as Max Fried and the Yankees wrap up the series of the Mariners before heading on the road. Pre-game coverage starts at 1, leading up the first pitch shortly after 1:30 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Reminder, tomorrow's night game will be on ESPN, but we'll have post-game coverage on Yes following the final out of the game tomorrow night on ESPN. Hyundai scoreboard, 4-1 Yankees as we go to the 8th, and the Yankees go to Brent Hedrick to pitch this inning. It'll be 9-1-2, starting with Emerson, who takes a strike.
The batter is challenging the pitch.
And that's going to be challenged by Emerson, powered by T-Mobile, and he gets it wrong.
The pitch is a strike. Seattle has 1 challenge remaining.
So Tim Hill did a good job, 4 up, 4 down. Right now he's in line to pick up the victory if the Yankee bullpen could hold on.
4 ground ball outs, to me a positive sign. None of them hit hard. Kind of shared the wealth. You got a 4-3, a 4-3, a 5-3, and a 6-3.
The 0-2 inside.
Hey guys, I spoke to Brent Hedrick, and he said he made no physical adjustments in the offseason. He's the same pitcher, but he said the biggest difference with him this year,
as he strikes out Emerson,
it's how much he's focused on the next pitch. When he was a starter back in the day, it was all about, oh, can I get through 3 innings or through 4 innings? What can I give my team that day? Now it's so much the next pitch. He said that mentality served him really well, and it's why he's dominated this year.
And I think your body gets used to being a reliever. When you're a starter and you're throwing every 5 days, every 6 days, and you know you got to work on pitches, it's completely different than being a reliever at this level. And he has adjusted really well this year. And it's just been so important to the Yankees.
Well, I think part of the problem last year was he was transitioning from starter, and the Yankees could see when they used him back-to-back days there was a regression in stuff. But he has solved that. His stuff has been great in back-to-back outings.
Yeah, you don't have an ERA like he has if you're not able to do that. And the other thing he's able to do is give him more than 3 outs. He'll give you 4 outs, 5 outs if you need it.
So the count 1-2 on Taylor Ward. 3 ground balls tonight. He's 0 for 3. Swing and a miss. 2 down here in the 8th. Now Rosarena accounts for the only run this far for the Mariners with his home run in the 6th inning. We take a look at the exit velocity presented by Spectrum. It was 95.7 off the bat. Traveled 351 feet. That's all it needed to travel.
James, can you look up the lowest exit velo on a homer this year? It's got to be close.
High fly ball, right field. Jones is there, and Jones puts it away. Nice inning for Hedrick as he retires the Seattle Mariners in order. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Let's turn to Name That Yankee. Here are the clues we showed you earlier. Yankee for a year and then on to Seattle. Was a highly touted prospect, Joe.
I think all of us thought he was going to hit a lot, Jesus Montero, and it just never really clicked for him.
The 0-1.
He had 2 home runs in the same game.
I do remember that. I mean, you look at where that pitch is down and away, and how far he hits that the other way. Great kid.
So Anthony Dominguez takes over on the mound. He was traded for Michael Pineda and Jose Campos. 4 home runs with the Yankees in 18 games, good batting average. Baseball America's number 3 prospect entering 2011 behind Bryce Harper, who was at number 1. And then Mike Trout. And rest in peace to Jesus Montero. Yeah. Left us much too early.
Way too young.
He passed away in a motorcycle accident. Garcia leading off the 8th inning. He started the Yankees 7th with a double to right field. So he has 2 doubles tonight. Yankees lead by 3, 4-1. All right, so take me through a manager's thinking, Joe. You look at the Yankee bullpen, and you got Bednar. If the Yankees have a 3-run lead, they'll bring him in to get the save. Is there a part of a manager that goes, let me not use him even though it's 3 runs, and let me see if I can get the 3 outs another way so I could save him for another day? You think like that ever?
Never.
You got to win today.
You got to win today. You don't know if you'll be in that opportunity tomorrow.
Right.
So you're assuming that you're going to be in that opportunity, but it may never happen. So that's why you always just take care of today.
Ground ball second base. Young's there. And Joe, I've also heard that closers, when there's a 3-run lead, they want to pitch because they want to get that save. They don't want to be skipped over for
Well,
that.
I think they want to pitch and be sharp.
Right. Well, fans, download the Gotham Sports app to get live games, highlights, features, podcasts, and much more. And if you get Yes on TV, then you get the Gotham Sports app for free. So download and sign in today. There's Jazz Chisholm. Got a big base hit through the right side of the infield in the 7th. Kind of kept that inning rolling. And there's a strike.
Like to see him get another hit. Get him going. I think about Jazz's year. It's probably too late to say that I'm going to have a good year. But it's not too late to do a lot to help the Yankees win and win in the playoffs. That's to me has to be his focus. I got to get right so I can help him in the month of October.
And you could have the worst year that you've ever had. And if you come up big in the playoffs and the Yankees end up winning a World Series, you're going to be remembered fondly for 2026.
Forever.
Two and two.
And you can have a great year and not perform in the playoffs, and they're going to remember that too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Two. 3-2 on the Chisholm. Strike 3, and Jazz is challenging. ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile, and Raleigh's throwing the ball around the infield. He thinks it's definitely a strike, and he was wrong.
Pitches the ball.
So that's a walk. Good challenge by Jazz.
And to me, this is the tricky one, Michael. When you have a 4-run lead, do you bring in your closer after a day off?
And do you?
I worry about winning today. You can see they have somebody else getting up. Probably be Jazz got picked off. Oh,
almost got out of the way, but he did not. He was really too far off. That was not the hardest pickoff.
no, I mean his hop was way too aggressive, and he's trying to put his hand pad on. Get that thing in right away.
That's considered a caught stealing because he didn't get in a rundown. He took off for second base, so it's a caught stealing.
Another rule that makes no sense to me.
You'd say that's a pickoff.
It's a pickoff.
Because right there, Cal Raleigh gets credit for that. Didn't touch the ball.
And you're not going to run back to the first baseman and let him tag you.
Right. I guess getting a rundown, maybe? I don't know.
Well, I'm sure Jazz is not thinking about the caught stealing. But to me, that's a pickoff.
One and two. Well, Boston has lost again, 4 in a row after that unbelievable stretch. So they lose to Toronto for the second game in a row. And then they lost the final 2 games of that Oakland series. So 4 games in a row. So the Yankees could build up their lead over the Red Sox back to 3. And they keep looking up at the board at Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay refuses to lose. So, Joe, since July 9th, the Yankees are 16-10. But because Tampa Bay's been so hot they've actually lost a game in the standings.
Yeah.
They're 6 games back.
And what is Boston in that time?
Well, they were 32-3 before they lost 4 in a row, so 32-7 now.
But it's hard to maintain that. I mean, because it's such a long year as you're going to go through your ups and downs offensively, pitching-wise, starting pitching-wise. These guys aren't robots.
And Red Sox fans shouldn't get down over this losing streak. There's got to be a regression, because if you keep playing 32-3, you'd be one of the greatest teams of all time.
Of all time.
So there's always going to be a market correction. Now, the 1998 Yankees, one of the few teams that didn't have a market correction, although you guys lost at the end of the year.
6 games.
Yeah.
That was the market correction.
2-2. So we told you the Yankees in 26 games are 16-10. That's since July 8th. In that time, Tampa Bay is 18-10, and Boston's 22-6. High fly ball, right field. Ward toward the line. Runs out of room.
It's so much fun to come to the ballpark when you're playing like that, because it's just like, you know you're going to win. You just know that you're going to go out there and find a way to win. Mariano Duncan had that shirt. Play today, we win today.
That's it. Popped up. And out of play. One thing about Lombard, he has long at bats. He spoils pitches. He takes pitches. He's not your typical 21-year-old.
I think he understands what he's looking for somewhat. I think he's going to understand more as time goes on. Now, you got to remember, every guy that he's seeing for the first time. So he doesn't know, does a fastball play up or down? What's the slider do? But you're right. His at-bats are good.
Shattered bat. Grounded foul. Grabbed there by Donovan. And the bat goes all the way to shortstop.
His at-bats are good, but that bat wasn't too good.
No, not at all.
He's looking at, should I use this?
Emerson did some light reading there.
You see this two-seamer? Hands on the seams. It runs in a ton. Bat helicopters. Oh, look at that. But he has such great balance in his finish, where he's not falling over.
Crack foul.
This will be the 12th pitch. That's an at-bat.
Yeah. And a CVS receipt. Grounded to another young shortstop, Emerson. Will get Lombard flying down the line, and that'll do it for the Yankees in the 8th. Bednar comes on to try to close it out. The Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by the New York Lottery. Play today and start imagining you win. By Sage, proud accounting software provider of the New York Yankees. How about the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event? Deals so right they almost feel wrong. Only at your local Hyundai dealer. Traffic's already starting, Joe. Wow. David Bednar is going to try to get the final 3 outs of this one, start this series with a victory. They're up 4-1 over Seattle. It'll be J-Rod, Canzone, and Young against the Yankee closer. Oh, 1. There's a strike.
There it is. There's that curveball. I love how he's changed his approach with it, where he uses it at different times.
He was getting hurt with it early.
Yeah, because he became predictable.
He has very quietly had an exceptional season.
Yes. He doesn't beat himself. He throws strikes. He's ahead in the count all the time. He gets a ton of chase.
And he certainly doesn't seem like he scares too easily.
Well, he looks like an offensive guard out there. Would you be?
Tough kid from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Got him on the curve. Well, fans, stay tuned for tonight's WB Mason Yankees postgame as Justin Shackle is back in the studio with highlights and analysis. Emmanuel Barbieri gets player interviews in the clubhouse. We're going to hear from Aaron Boone on the manager's report. All coming up next on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Canzone fouls it away.
I mean, as we watch this inning unfold, he threw 2 excellent curveballs to Rodriguez. He just throws a really good fastball away from Canzone. He's a closer that has good stuff that really locates well. His stuff is not overpowering, even though he has 97. But his location like that is just so good. And he gets ahead of you and makes you be aggressive, and he gets a ton of chase.
You know, one of the things that you can never tell when you look under the hood at the numbers and the numbers that teams concentrate on when they make decisions, you don't know if they can handle Broadway.
Correct.
You just don't. I mean, you kind of roll on the dice, you do your due diligence, you talk to people, but until they're here, you don't know. Bednar is not bothered by Broadway.
No, it is not bothering him at all. And you know, some of it you have to talk to other teams or players that have played with him, or you find ways to communicate to find out what a person is like inside. And this does not scare him one bit.
Couldn't hold on to the foul ball, so still 1-2.
Good split here. Didn't quite have the depth that some of them had, but you see, just nips it. Ooh, doesn't stay in that glove. Mr. Steinbrenner wanted me to practice that. He saw me drop one. I'm like,
Ground ball second base, knocked down by Jazz, and he can't recover, allowing Canzone to reach.
Yeah, I'm not sure he did tweak something there, or is he just frustrated? I mean, his knee kind of sticks in the ground there, and then his feet kind of come out from under him. Maybe it kind of felt it in that ankle a little bit as he gets up here. As he slips right there.
I think the slip is what might have gotten him a little bit, and that scored a hit, by the way. Well, Boone's going to get out there and see what's going on. Jazz is trying to look for the replay. They're not showing the replay on the board. So Caballero's going to start to stretch. He might have to get out there.
Yeah, I would want this decision to be made quickly, because you don't want Bednar to stand there for a long time. And you could bring in Caballero right away, and you can evaluate him inside. Last thing is you want this taking a long time.
Athletic trainer Tim Lentick is out there. What are they looking for there, Joe? Achilles problem?
Yeah, it looks like the back there, that grabbed on him.
It seems like it's a good sign. We don't want to play doctor from up here. But looks like he's going to stay in the game. So Boone and Lentic back to the dugout.
He tried to recover, and I think he would have had a chance. It would have been really close.
Yeah, it was this last slide where his foot gave out that caused the issue. So he remains in the game. Mariners with a base hit with 1 out. And that's going to bring up Cole Young. Foul ball, 0-1. Swing and a miss, kind of a weak wave there. 0-2.
He didn't pick up that splitter, and this becomes a really important out. And I know Cal Raleigh hasn't had the year that he had last year or even some of the other years, but he still has a ton of power, and you don't want him coming up as the tying run.
Ground ball. Nice play by Jazz Chisholm. Throws the second one on the first. Not in time. So Jazz with a splendid play there for the second out.
Well, I think that answers about his ankle, because I don't think he's able to move like that. I know he's limping now, but that was an explosive movement by Jazz Chisholm to make that play, and makes it really accurate. And he gets a lot on this throw. He's always had a great arm too. And they almost turned this. I mean, that would have been an unbelievable double play. Just really athletic.
So Seattle down to its final out. Here's Cal Raleigh batting from the left side. 0 for 3 tonight. Runner goes. Yankees not holding on. So Cole Young will take second base. Raleigh incredibly hitting 160. Up and away.
A lot of teams have challenged him upstairs with four-seamers. And again, I talked about it earlier. He has been late all year. I don't know why, but he just has not been on time.
1-1. Did he go? Yes, he did. And Seattle down to its final strike. That was close.
That's a tough one. Yeah, that's a little questionable.
Crowd over 40,000, most of them on their feet. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. And the Yankees win 4-1 to take the first game of this 3-game set. Yankees with the big 4-run 7th inning. A big hit by McMahon. And a big hit by Grisham. Bednar closes it out, and they take game 1 of this 3-game set.
Yeah, outstanding pitching by Ryan Weathers. Again, he has been unbelievable his last 7 or 8 starts. The bullpen does a really good job. Tim Hill had a good night. Hedrick and then Bednar, and little things in that 7th inning led to 4 runs, and that's why they won the game. And See the final strikeout on that four-seamer up by Bednar, 97, and that is by you.
Good start by Weathers. The bullpen does its job. Aaron Boone says good job to somebody sitting somewhere in the stands. As Bednar picks up his 17th straight save for the Yankees. Nice night from McMahon. Looks like Chisholm's going to be okay, and the Yankees win 4-1. Yankees win 4-1. We take a look at the game-changing drive of the game brought to you by Audi and the all-new Audi Q3.
Well, that's Ryan McMahon, a two-run single with the bases loaded to put the Yankees up 2-1 in the seventh, and Ryan McMahon comes up with a huge hit.
We'll hear from Ryan with Emmanuel and the post-game show. Now, the Chevy player of the game.
Well, the bases are loaded, and what do? They go to the left side again. Trent Grisham, a two-run single to put them up 4-1, and that was plenty for the Yankees, who only gave up 3 hits to the Seattle Mariners tonight.
All right, so the Yankees got 8. It took 1 minute, less than 3 hours. Hill gets the win. Bednar's 27 save. So more great Yankee pitching, and the offense picked them up with those 4 runs. Coming up on the S Network, stay tuned for the WB Mason postgame show with Justin Shackle. Special thanks to producer Troy Benjamin, director Dan Barr, Mike Webb, and the executive producer of the S Network is Mr. Jared Ames Boschnack. Join us again on Thursday when the Yankees take on the Mariners in the final game of the series. Coverage will begin at 1 p.m. on Yes, with first pitch coming shortly after 1:30. Again, the final score here from the stadium, the Yankees 4, the Seattle Mariners 1. For Joe Girardi and Emmanuel Barbari, I'm Michael K. saying see you from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Now let's go to Justin Shackle, standing by in our Yes Network studios with the postgame show. Justin?